everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Tara Arnold, and tonight I'm going to consciously channel Ascended Master Saint Germain. He's got some spiritual awakening tips. And before we begin, I just want to remind everyone this weekend there's an animal communication course. It's 2.5 hours on Saturday. I will put the details in the description below. So if you have an animal, a pet that's alive or deceased, and you want to communicate, that's what we're teaching. So I hope to see you there, and I'm going to get started. So the first thing that Saint Germain is showing me is about setting boundaries and saying no to things. So he's showing me that there's two types of no. So when you first start saying no, there's your ego no, and then there's your heart conscious no. An ego no looks like I'm saying no because I'm mad at giving away my power. I'm upset that I keep giving my power to that person. I'm angry that I allowed them to trick me, and now I'm recognizing it, and I'm really frustrated with this, so I'm going to say no. And you say no, but you say it from a vibration of anger or rage, or just completely fed up, like you're done, I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm setting a boundary and saying no. And then there's this expectation that the universe is going to deliver you something better because you've said no, you've set a boundary. But if you're in the vibrational frequency of anger when you say no to someone, then the universe is going to respond to your frequency. It doesn't respond to your boundary, it responds to your frequency. So what would a conscious no look like? A conscious no is set in peace and calmness. It's saying, I could see that this person has taken my power because I've freely given it to them over and over. But I'm not judging them taking my power, or I'm not judging myself for giving my power to them, because they can't take your power without you giving it to them. I'm not judging them belittling me. I'm not judging them as right or wrong when they degraded me in front of a group of people, or they talked about me behind my back. I'm not judging that anymore. And so I'm going to say no to their offer of maybe they invited you over for dinner, and you're saying, okay, I'm at a place where I'm no longer angry at them, and I'm going to say no from my heart, and I'm going to be present, and I'm not going to judge them for how they act or how their ego treats me. And when you're in that vibration of peace, of calm, of being in your power and not giving your power away, but also not being angry at the person, then it's a conscious no, and the universe responds to that vibration and will start to bring you something different. So at first, when you're first getting your power and you're first setting boundaries, you're going to have a lot of ego no's coming out of you. There's going to be a lot of times where you haven't fully stepped into your powers, but you're just learning how to set a boundary. And so Saint Germain's saying he doesn't want you to criticize yourself for that or beat yourself up, but he wants you to look at every time you say no, or every time you set a boundary with someone, are you doing it from a place of love and respect for yourself and for them? Are you doing it in a place of calmness, or are you doing it out of anger or judgment? Once you switch that no to a place of peace, then the universe starts to respond to your vibration, and you'll stop creating that same frequency coming into your reality. But the reason he's bringing it in today is he's saying that there's some confusion with it, in the sense that it's getting frustrating. He's showing me that someone's saying, like, I don't understand. I keep having my power with all of these people, and yet I keep creating the same types of people coming into my reality. So just be gentle with yourself. He's saying, don't criticize yourself. Just where am I vibrating at when I say no? When you say it from a place of peace and calmness, you become untouchable. So when you say no from anger or from a place that's a third dimension vibration, you remain entangled with that person's energy. You remain enmeshed with that person's energy. And it's almost like what he's showing me is you're giving them permission to puppet you, to control your reality. It's like an invitation. So it's like your energetically, the universe, from what he's showing me, it's like you're inviting their energy into your auric field or into your quantum field. And you're saying, I give you permission to create chaos in my reality. I give you permission to keep me small. I give you permission to block any success, business success or financial success. I give you permission to bring that energy and keep me in that vibration. But when you say no and set a boundary from a place of the heart, then you don't remain entangled with them. You start to create a whole different reality. So how do you change from reacting to responding, from anger to peace? So how do you set a boundary, not from the ego consciousness, but a boundary from the heart-centered consciousness? The first thing to do, he's showing me, is to simply observe yourself as you're getting your power, as you're speaking up, as you're saying no, just checking in with your emotions, stepping back and observing, like, where's this coming from? And then asking these questions, what's really happening, not in my mind, but in this moment? What part of me is perceiving this? Is it my wound or is it my wisdom? And what would my higher self think of my response right now or my reaction right now? And so this will kind of shift you into being more present and observing without judgment, not only to how they hurt you, but also to how you're responding. So remember that everyone in your reality is showing you a reflection of what you haven't transmuted within yourself. So every time someone attacks you or belittles you, or you interact and create a narcissist or someone in your reality that's going to demean you or belittle you, there's an aspect of yourself that you haven't transmuted yet, and there's just showing you a reflection of it. So first, taking full responsibility that I created this person in my reality for my highest good, and that gives me the power to change it. It's not blaming yourself, because blame will put you back to third dimension. It's a lower frequency vibration, but taking responsibility means I can create anything in my reality, and anything that's showing up I have created, because everything's one energy and I'm the creator of everything in my reality. So I'm projecting my vibration out, it's reflecting back to me. So if someone is belittling me, it's got to be a reflection of how my own ego belittles myself. How many times have I criticized myself today? So give gratitude for the gift that they're bringing, and then start to say no with a power from the heart instead of a power from the head. And then you'll stop recreating it. Because he was showing me that was the biggest blocks, was that people weren't understanding. Well, I keep saying no and I'm setting a boundary and I keep creating the same thing. So this is how you do it. Just step into your power, ask yourself those questions, just observe yourself, don't judge yourself while you're not judging them. So he's bringing in another example. And he's bringing this one in to show you that sometimes we think that we're saying a conscious no and setting a boundary, and it's coming from our heart, but we're still a little bit in our ego, because the ego is going to find another way in once you start getting your power and setting boundaries and saying no and not reacting, but just being in the now moment and being present with it and not judging them or you. And what happens is the ego says, well, I've got to come in another way. So he's giving me the example of, say a friend invited you to a concert in a few days, and you say, okay, this friend has belittled me, they've disrespected me, I'm going to love my inner child and I'm going to tell her no. And so you say, no, thank you, I already have plans for that date. And you're so proud of yourself. You're saying, I respected my inner child, I wasn't reactive, I wasn't judging her, I was in my power. and the universe is going to bring me something else. And then you hear this little voice from your inner child that said, well, but you weren't in your truth. You lied to them and told them that we already have plans, but we don't. So that's how the ego is going to come in another way. It's going to try to make you over-explain yourself or make an excuse. You don't need an excuse, he's saying. Like when you're setting a boundary and saying no, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't need an excuse. You don't need a reason why you're doing it. A simple no, no thank you, or even thanking them that feels uncomfortable when I just said that, because that's like, it feels like a manipulation somehow. So it's like choosing your words. Like, are you really in gratitude that they have belittled you and now you're thanking them for inviting you? Like, does that feel good? A no can be a no without explaining yourself. And also he's showing me no response is a response. And I know he said this before, but sometimes you don't have to respond. That is a response. No response is a response. So giving yourself permission to not respond sometimes. Like, do you have to respond to this person? You know, asking yourself that. What do I do in this situation to have my power, to stand in my truth, and to love myself, and to love the God within me? Because you're the missing piece of the pie that the universe is waiting for. And you have mastered loving everybody outside of yourself. It's mastering loving the God within you and giving that respect to yourself. And once you do, the universe can become whole again. So the universe is always striving to become whole. And all of you on this channel are empathic from the heart. You're loving, you're kind, you're caring to everyone around you. And it's this mastery of giving that to yourself. So you're all doing an amazing job, he's saying. He's giving thumbs up. Hang in there. You're doing great. No more criticizing yourself. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time.